Welcome to Skovision training videos. My name's Doug. This lesson will involve how to work with measures to add parameters and targets. You can see that we've landed on the home page and we're in a demo of William Eberhart High School right now. And on the left hand side you can see a few different areas to go. We're going to be working in measures. So in your plan area I'm going to select the measures button. The information on the right then will come back with the measures that have already been created for this demo school. You can see there are two here, and in order to work in a measure I will double click on 3.1.01 and that sends back information to the server and to the database saying please bring up this measure for me. You can now see that 3.1.01 is displayed at the top in the white lettering with the green background, and you can see the measure is already here. So we're not going to be doing any editing of the measure itself or deletion at this point. We're going to be actually adding parameters and targets. You may have to scroll down depending on the size of your screen on the General tab, and I'm going to scroll down a bit to this bottom area, and you can see we've got a couple of things to fill in here. Default measure parameters, specify the initial and target measure values, initial and target, and we'll do that in a moment. You can also go over to the right and use the dashboard feature, which will allow you in your plan overview to see where you're at, comparing your values with your targets. So we'll be filling that in a moment as well. I'm going to scroll back up for a moment because I need to know what kind of results am I working with. In this measure, and under every measure, you'll see the three different tabs. The General tab is where we put in information. The Results tab is where we put in results of that particular measure. And the Outcomes tab, we have decided which outcome that measure is attached to. I'll click on the Results tab, and we'll see at the demo school there are three values over the last 3 years that have been entered. 75% in 2009, 78.3% in 2010, and 81% in 2011. Now I know what I'm working with. I'm going to go back to the General tab, scroll back down if I have to, and decide at this point what would be a reasonable number to meet as a target. If the initial value, and you can choose whatever initial value is meaningful to you, but if your initial value might be 78% of parent and student agreement, that students model the characteristics of active citizenship, if that's a reasonable initial value for you, you could put that in. Your target value might be something higher than that, and for the sake of this tutorial we'll put in 83%, and then you now have an initial value and a target value set. You can see some further instructions down there to read as well. On the right, specify the thresholds. So it says distance from target is, and you can choose a value or a percentage. We're going to go value by default, and you can see right away your calculated thresholds appear. So right now, based on these two boxes and what's set by default, on target is greater than or equal to 83, and off target is less than or equal to 82.5. Those thresholds can be changed by changing the values in each of these boxes. On target is whatever you suggest below the target and higher. So I might say that even though we haven't met our target value, if it's anywhere around 1 or below, I'm still going to consider that to be on target. Off target then, I'm going to say is going to be lower than that. So I'm going to say that 1.5 or lower is going to be below target. When you've set these, it will determine what color the icon is as you go back to your plan overview and look at your results. This tells me that now 82 or higher is going to be considered on target, and off target is going to be 81.5 or lower. At this point I can scroll back up and I'm going to save that. And now I have created parameters, targets, and understand the threshold around this measure. I can go back and change it if I don't like what I see, But we're going to look again quickly at the Results tab. And now you can see information's been filled in here, the red, the yellow, and the green, about what have you set as off target or on target, and these lines indicate the results for each time a result's been put in. I can save and close now, and we know that 81 was the last value. We also know that 81.5 was considered to be unacceptable. So you can see now in the Measures tab that across on the right, under the Progress column, you see a red square. This highlights the fact that the latest value that exists there is considered to be off target. If I were to go back into that measure by double-clicking on it, I can reevaluate what I might want set as my thresholds here. So if I didn't want that to be red to display because I do have a value that I find acceptable, I may go in here to this box and change the value to, say, 3. Now it shows me that anything off target would be 80% or less. I can save that, and I'll do a save and close here. And what that shows now back in the Measures area is that I'm not acceptable, but it's not unacceptable either. So it's now displaying a yellow warning flag. That's how you can create new targets and new parameters for your measures. If you need further assistance, please contact us via email, devplans@cbe.ab.ca. Thank you.